Hello and welcome back to Film Smart. This episode we're going to review Batman vs. Superman Dawn of Justice. We're going to do the good, the bad, and the ugly like we always do.
We're going to say it's going to be the bad and the ugly.
But there is good. There is definitely some good in this movie to discuss. But I think our feelings towards this movie are very different than our feelings towards Man of Steel.
Yeah. I mean, I don't hate this movie.
I don't hate it either.
I think when you have an event movie, it needs to be amazing. So, like, now people are overreacting, like, oh, it's not that good. I'm like, I mean, it was just there.
Yeah. Then,
like, the fights, what you come for, like, when you see a Superman movie or something, you expect to see something like, I don't know, even in spirit. It doesn't have to be literally Superman being larger than life, but I mean, Superman himself is larger than life because he, like, transcends humanity and he is, I don't know, he just is a symbol. But I think the whole movie itself, I don't know, it just, I don't know. It just failed in a way. Yeah, it just.
Well, if I had to describe this movie in one word, I think I would say disjointed is a word that comes to mind. But yeah, so let's sort of run through. Let's sort of go through what the plot is basically, and sort of like describe.
You go through.
Describe our feelings for it. So, of course, we start out with Batman's parents getting killed again. It's like, oh my god, okay, yeah, great. Haven't seen this before. Although it looked like the gunman was aiming at his mom's face or something. I was like, oh.
Yeah, when I saw it.
But then her face was intact when they showed it.
Well, I guess they only showed one part of her face.
That's true.
So her eyes could have been blown out the other side of her head, probably not.
Oh my gosh, graphic. Yeah.
Well, I mean, he did have her by her necklace, so I doubt he shot her in the throat.
Yeah, that was...
Ooh, that'd be even worse.
And then they had the scene of Batman ascending soon after into the cave, which I was so glad I found out was a dream when you hear Batman.
Yeah, I thought that immediately, but...
Yeah, at first I was like, wait, what is going on? Wait, is this being supernatural? Oh, no. Oh, because I was like,
the DC universe... Zatanna could have been watching over Batman the whole time.
I was like, this is a different DC universe. I was like, we have Enchantress and Wonder Woman and Superman in Batman's world now, so this is...
I wonder what prompted... We'll get to that later, the dreams, because he had a lot of dreams, and then there were a lot of dreams that were like prophecies, but then there were dreams that were just personal, so...
Yeah, that's called bad writing.
Yeah. But, I was like, you can't have dreams without purpose.
Yeah. Well, they had a lot of things without purpose.
And then, yeah, you can't open future pathways with dreams and then not even confirm if they're like dreams or visions given by the Flash.
Yeah, they didn't even
He did it. All they did were open doors.
Yeah, they
left doors open that they could still close. Yeah. They could be like, oh, he was just having delusions because he was worried about fighting Superman.
Yeah.
Or if the movie was well received, Darkseid's coming next, blah, 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 all this stuff. Ugh.
But yeah, so I mean, in the beginning, the best part of the beginning, because this movie I keep describing as like, it has like multiple endings, but I'm realizing now it has a lot of beginnings too. Mm-hmm. Like you have Batman's parents getting shot, you have him in his cave or in his what do you call it, a well, like in Batman Begins, and then you also have like him at the end of Man of Steel, which I like when they said the world is introduced to Man of Steel or introduced to Superman. I thought that was like, oh, that's cool. The way they did that.
I love the perspective, or how we got to see it from that was so cool.
And then he was like driving through it, and I was like, oh, that's whatever. And then it got cool when he got to the building, when he started running, and you see him with the girl, and with the character who loses his legs, Scoot McNairy's character. Yeah, that was rough seeing that. So we see that character and seeing him with his. I was like, oh my god. Zack Snyder really pushed the 9/11 imagery. I mean, if Man of Steel felt like 9/11, this really felt like 9/11.
Was 9/11 image. Like it was on the phone, then you hear the phone just cut off.
Yeah.
As you see the building fall,
and then one of the most powerful moments in the movie was when Batman was like, "Where are your parents?" to the little girl, and she points, and the building is like cut down, just completely destroyed. Oh my god.
See, and the world felt really polarized. I noticed this. I was like, the world felt polarized about the whole thing, but they still built a statue for him. But it seemed like most people hated him. I was just like, why does he have a monument?
And see,
and I don't know. I was just sitting there like, do they hate him or not? Because they're still discussing this issue, and life just went on. So I mean, Superman was still saving people and still going around the world and doing these issues. I'm like, so what happened? Are they just upset about it and they haven't done anything? I mean, it's not like they can do anything, and that was probably one of the problems. But I don't know. It just felt like they addressed the damage, but not really. Like they said, oh, well, we do care about it, but we're not going to show you what we did.
Yeah, they didn't.
Because I was like, they had all these plans, and I was like, this isn't going anywhere. This is just what the fans were typing on Facebook.
They really could have done a much better job of addressing that. Because they would... Well, I'll get into it later, but just because... But, like, then we see, like, Superman... He saves Lois Lane, who keeps finding... I mean, I know Lois in the comics is always sort of finding herself in trouble. But this Lois almost feels like a complete damsel in distress. Like, I always got the feeling that Lois was... She would get herself in trouble so Superman could save her, but she really had a good head on her shoulders, and she really knew what was going on, and she could,
talk her way. She could talk her way out sometimes.
Yeah. She's a Pulitzer Prize winning journalist, so
she should have talked her way out of like Zod or something.
But she just keeps doing it. I mean, she kept doing it in Man of Steel, which was really mainly my only problem with that movie was really just Lois Lane, and she continued to be an issue for me in this movie. And with that scene, the scene was fine, and I guess that Russian guy was KG Beast apparently. I remember months ago saying they said he was going to be in the movie, and I completely forgot when I watched the movie because they never said his name. And
it didn't matter. So
yeah, did he? I don't even know what happened to him. But
he did that because Batman. I remember Batman connected to his phone or whatever, and then
he blew him up.
Did he?
I think he did. I don't know.
was he in the car chase and died in that?
No,
because they were in the back of the truck.
I think he died with Martha.
He blew him up. Yeah, he blew him up.
But so Superman comes and saves Lois and whatever, and the African dude, and this is when we find out about the white Portuguese.
The ship.
That was that's right, the ship
holding the kryptonite.
Yeah, and then go to the Indian Ocean, and we see Zod's ship, and we see the kryptonite. As soon as they took the kids were fishing, I was like, oh, that must be kryptonite.
I just love how we basically knew the plot of this movie.
Well, that's the other thing.
Every fan had already predicted all of this.
That happened, and then I also have to be honest. Somebody made a good. I think Kevin Smith said this in his review. It's where the trailers showed almost every single scene of this movie, at least a part of every single scene. So it was almost like a checklist when you watch the movie. It's like, oh, there's that scene I saw in trailer 1. Oh, there's that scene I saw in trailer 2. There's that scene from TV Spot 4. There's that scene. Actually, no, not even TV Spot. 16. If you saw all 3 trailers, you saw almost every single scene in this movie, at least a part of every single scene. They showed all the Batman fights, the Batman versus Superman. We saw Doomsday. We
Wonder
saw
Woman reveal.
We saw the kids going and getting the kryptonite. We saw kryptonite. We saw every single scene was pretty much the only scene that wasn't shown in the trailers, which I won't. We're going to get into it later, but with like Martha Kent being held captive, and then like Batman about to stab Superman in the face. Like pretty much those were like the only 2 scenes we didn't see for the most part. So I was just like,
they both could have been left out,
but yeah. So we have that, and then Superman has his monument and whatever, and the guy spray painting False God. How did he even get? I don't remember how he got up there.
Remember, he just like had all this upper body strength out of nowhere. I was like, he must lift a lot.
Yeah, he's just been working out, I guess, in the last 18 months. But
I guess he didn't actually have legs, so maybe he was lighter on top. I don't
know. We think too hard. It's not going to make any sense.
Okay, no, I'm not even going to get into what they should have done.
And then the whole African scene, I guess, this is when we see the African woman on Capitol Hill talking to Holly Hunter's character, the Democratic senator from Kentucky. And I don't remember what her name was, but Finch, maybe Senator Finch, I think her last name was Finch. And she was talking to her, and this is like and I liked her as a character. I thought she was a strong character. Well, good to see her again, but we see
unless she's a robot too, or something like that.
They do something ridiculous, but then
all the Justice League Dark brings all of them back.
Yeah.
Oh God.
But we see her talking to her, and it's first of like 2 or 3 scenes that take place at Capitol Hill, and it's the woman talking about Superman being, afraid of him, and he has too much power. But I didn't really see a problem with what he did. Like I guess were they mad because Superman rammed that guy through all those walls and he endangered other people when he did it?
I wasn't sure.
Because they kept bringing it up during the movie, and I was like, I don't know what the issue was, though. Like, you didn't...
Yeah, they were going to murder people. They were a corrupt organization.
Yeah. Every person who got killed was killed because of each other. I mean, I'm sure Superman killed that guy when he ran. There's no way that guy survived. But
yeah, it is a comic book movie, so
yeah. But that's the only person who died, and he was bad. So I don't know what they were all complaining about exactly.
She said something like her parents tried to run. And Superman, it's not like he was like blasting heat vision where somebody could get killed. So
Superman did not
just,
recklessly kill somebody.
Unless, yeah, she was talking about. But why would she be complaining with Superman in the discussion?
That's what I'm very.
Because I guess she was just talking about the organization in general, but Superman had nothing to do with that.
They didn't do a good enough job explaining why that was an issue.
Maybe we need to see it again, but
it's weird. But I don't even remember what. But like we are introduced to that, and then we see Lex Luthor's character, and he's like on crack or something. But his character was. I had mixed feelings about Lex Luthor, because in one sense I was like, oh, he's interesting. I like this sort of young, bombastic idea. He's young like Superman. Even his music apparently is like Superman's theme backwards and warped a little bit. But I was like, that's kind of cool. It's whatever. He's but then I don't know. He almost got a little Riddler for me. Like I was getting like, because I remember hearing that the Joker and the Riddler were going to be in this movie, and I was like, well, that would have been 3 of the same character, because he acted a lot like the Riddler, and so I don't know how I felt about him altogether. Personally, I prefer because this type of Lex Luthor is more classic, actually. This is like a Lex Luthor in the 30s and 40s and 50s. But the Lex Luthor we think of is like the businessman from like who was introduced in like the 70s or something, more towards the 70s, and it kind of Gene Hackman did it. He was still funny, but it was definitely more serious than this Lex Luthor. And he's like the businessman, intimidating, tall, bald guy who's older than Superman. But this is different than what we got from previous adaptations. How did you feel about this?
Well, I'm always open to new things, so it didn't bother me pretty much at all, because I was just like, it's something different. This isn't the comic books, so I'm just going to let them have whatever vision. If it works, it works. But I feel like if he was the like type of Lex Luthor that we usually see, I mean, I wouldn't have really changed anything for me, because he's still just human, and then he still uses kryptonite, and he still uses like psychological attacks. But
yeah,
I get that he's like too similar to other characters, and
they did keep what was cool about Lex Luthor later on in the movie, which is ultimately what's important. But with Lex Luthor, there's a certain amount of this Lex Luthor didn't feel like somebody who was clearly the mentals and superior to Superman, just because that's what he has over him. He's smarter. I mean, obviously he has more money, but he's smarter than Superman, and he's kind of has that over him. This Lex Luthor just felt like he was smart, but he was like insane. Like he was very clear. I don't know why like the senators were willing to let him have access to kryptonite, like that man he was talking to at the beginning. I don't know why he was going to let him have access, because he was clearly off his rocker. So I don't know why anybody would be like, oh, yeah, we're going to let you have access to his ship, even though you're clearly
they never had like a thing where he was like paying them or anything, and they never showed that.
Yeah, it was just an odd choice for me, because I was just like, if I saw this and I was a senator, I would not let him anywhere near anything.
But then again, he is crazy. And I guess he was the one behind the bombing.
Yeah.
Maybe they all just feared him.
Yeah, every once in a while he would do something that would be like, oh, remind you who this character was. But yeah, that was weird. And then of course we see Batman, and we're introduced to this adult Batman who actually was narrating the beginning of the movie, which was an interesting choice. And we see he has a cool Bat cave that's underwater now. So, I mean, nobody's finding that. And he was older, and I like Alfred. Him and Alfred had a really good dynamic. Apparently, Ben Affleck helped co-write a lot of those scenes, and with Chris Terrio. So those were some of the best scenes I thought, were Alfred and Batman working together. So maybe Ben Affleck needs to really get into the writing, because it seems like this movie was really on Ben Affleck's shoulders, because he was the one getting criticized for being cast as Batman. So I thought he acted very well.
Yeah, there was nothing wrong with him at all.
And I feel like he was just carrying all of this weight. And I feel like he's going to have to continue to carry a lot of this weight, because he was probably the most talented person involved in this movie. So, altogether, kept behind and in front of the scenes.
It's his name that he's going to tarnish if he keeps being in garbage. So.
Yeah. But at least he's the shining star in the movie. Other than,
and he can only do so much still. Like you would think about, like he probably won't tell Zack Snyder like, no, that sucked.
Yeah,
Even they're still your boss, so you don't want to like tell them. I know it's weird because you can give constructive criticism to a degree, and then they start getting upset when you tell them that every single scene they shot isn't good. So
that's why I think he wants to do his own Batman movie very much, so he can have complete control. He can act, he can direct, he can write, all of that, and then maybe they'll have him do something with Justice League, because I really want him to direct a Justice League film or something. But anyway, we were introduced to him, and I like him. But this Batman poses, and this is not Ben Affleck's fault, it's the writer's fault mainly, of Batman and Superman. I was not a fan of either of them in this movie in terms of, there's not somebody I was more sympathetic towards. I was hoping this movie will sort of be like, oh, I feel for Superman here, I feel for Batman here. I didn't really care.
We didn't have a relationship
with Batman.
Yeah, or even really with Superman.
Yeah, there's no
enough to like...
They were counting on you having a relationship based off of Man of Steel.
Yeah, and then I think like in The Dark Knight Returns, Superman was like so good. And then Batman was also good, and they were friends for so long, and then they all worked together.
This history.
Yeah, and then when he came after him, it's like, oh, he's really going in on him too.
This means something.
But now, like when they fought,
they don't know each other, and this is also the point of having an older Batman to me was like bringing history, but at least they were doing this to show that he's more brutal now, and he's hurting, and he's willing to kill people now. But I was just like, this is making him less sympathetic. Like the more I watch this movie, the more I'm like, oh, you're kind of a douche. I just kept saying, I don't like Batman really, and I love Batman, but in this movie, and he was cool. He was doing, that's the other thing, he would do cool stuff, but it was just like there's no emotion behind it. And I tell you, emotion is so important in a movie, because I was watching these fights and Batman doing cool stuff, and I was just like, yeah. Like I wanted to really like it, but that tells you there's a certain amount of crescendo that you need to build to before you can really earn my excitement with these things. So that's why I think people are liking this movie better on a second viewing, because they already know what they're getting into. They're not expecting anything particularly amazing or anything like that. So they already know what they're getting into. They're just seeing the fights for fun, which I think is a very different experience than what we had seeing it the first time. So when you're just seeing the fights to look cool, it's oh yeah, it's great. But I don't know, they have to work on that emotion, because that's just the writing was I don't know, I don't know what the ideas were. Like again, the fact that we couldn't even really figure out why people were mad at Superman for what happened in Africa, that's a problem.
I also found it weird that Superman wasn't like walking on eggshells. Like it seemed like, I don't know, it seemed like he didn't learn his lesson at all. Like when him and Batman were fighting, I know that was abandoned. It was an abandoned property. They were still going through all these buildings and stuff. And even when he went to Africa, he was still went through that wall with that guy.
Through the guy through the wall. It's like,
and I was just like, did you just not learn?
You can snap Zod's neck because Zod's your equal.
Yeah, and there was nowhere for him to go.
Yeah, and he was going to kill everybody.
I would say, if you would have let him go, when people had that argument, that was the dumbest argument. He could have held him captive. Where?
Yeah, where? Where's he going to hold him captive?
Throw him in the county jail? Like, they didn't even know about kryptonite at that point.
Yeah, but they're not going to do anything with him. You have to kill him. But this guy, this is a human. Like, if you push him through walls, you're going to break his neck.
Yeah, like when he could have literally just flicked him, because like he did to Batman.
Which was that was the best part of the fight.
Hilarious.
But
he just came up to.
So then we see the build of Lex Luthor and Senator Finch and whatever. I don't care. And it was fine. I like how they tied back to the pee thing, or you can put my
Granny's piss in a bucket and call it Granny's peach tea or something like that.
Yeah. Which I liked how they called back to that.
I love when she looked right at it and she was like, oh god. And she knew.
But yeah,
at first I wasn't sure. At first the way she was acting, I was like, did she get poisoned? Like, did she drink her water? And she's like,
I didn't know.
I thought she was gonna fall over dead. I was gonna be like,
but
he's crazy. And then
that was interesting when they had her come to her house, because I thought when he said I'm gonna add something new to my wall, I thought he was gonna like blow her brains out or something, and then he was gonna say your blood is gonna be on my wall. Like that's why I was like, okay, Lex Luthor was kind of cool because he was creepy then. But then again, that goes back to being that goes back to him being Riddler or Joker. I was like, the Joker is supposed to make me feel like that, or the Riddler really is supposed to make you feel like that. The Riddler is supposed to be this crazy wacky dude, and then he's gonna be like, I'm gonna kill you too. Like that's kind of the weird part about him. Lex Luthor is like,
I'm gonna kill you too.
Lex Luthor is like, I'm gonna kill you by very convoluted way. Like, I'm gonna kill you, but
Lex Luthor would just drop you off of something.
Yeah, and also he's not.
All the way he did Lois, he just pushed her right off the building.
Yeah, or he's gonna hire like a group of like a paramilitary to go take you out. and then claim it's part of some other terrorist organization.
Oh,
like,
okay, yeah,
that's the type of guy Lex Luthor.
Oh yeah, Lex Luthor was involved in the whole Africa thing, and they tried to frame it on Superman. Wait, so did they? No, there was no way anybody would believe that some random African group was connected to Superman.
No.
Chris Terrio, what's good? Like you said, like
I don't know how you went from winning an Oscar and Gone Girl and then writing this, because that.
I think the only problem with them with his writing was that they were throwing probably so much at him. Like Kevin Tsujihara and Zack Snyder were probably like, "Yo, I want you to make Wonder Woman as cool as possible, and like, Superman needs to be super awesome, and Batman like grounded but still huge, larger than life. Like have him fighting a lot but not too much, and have him have good dialogue with it."
They just kept saying, "Let's have the superheroes do cool." And
yeah. Because that's how Zack Snyder would talk. He'd be like, "Yo, man, so I had this idea about Batman." And I was like, "Oh,
and let's not make Superman that cool because we got to make Wonder Woman and Batman pop."
And then they probably said, "Let's have iconic quotes." So Chris Terrio probably sat at his computer and said, "Ooh, what can I phrase in like a mix of old English?"
The Redkins were coming. Yeah, and then there's a few lines. It's like, oh, but then it just doesn't fit in the rest of the movie. And then a lot of Lex Luthor is like a preacher in this movie. It's weird, but
I wish. Something about this movie, I wish the heroes really stood for something each. Because, like, yeah, you're right. It wasn't like to see them just do things wasn't surprising. Like when I saw Superman kill those people, I was like, oh, well, when the world comes to that, I guess you do it. But you got to do what you got to do. But what was I saying? It's like Superman. Yeah, he wasn't walking on eggshells. He wasn't trying so hard to save everyone now, and I feel like he should have, after Man of Steel, that's when they could have had that slick transition into where he was like trying so hard to be perfect, and like he was always, and then he needs to be some type of symbol, and I feel like in this he's nothing. Like people look up to him, and like he has all those people cheering for him, but then I said, why are you doing that? He saved the world, but
yeah,
I don't know. I feel
like it's not that building that emotion.
They need to have. There should have been more history before this movie happened.
That's what I kept.
That's the one huge problem. There was they just wanted to do too much, and I know it is possible for you to do this much, but yeah, you could have left out Batman's background really, and we didn't need to see his family dying. That would have saved us like
there's no
20
need for that because people were like, oh, at least they got it out during the credits, but it's like we already know it. Like, who cares if they got it out through the credits? You could get something else done during the credits. Mm-hmm. Like I don't know why we needed to see that. This movie was already long, and again, it's multiple beginnings, multiple endings. Like it felt like I was watching, Lord of the Rings: Return of the King or something, because it just kept ending.
Doomsday didn't need to happen. They could have just had Zod's body be there the whole time so that he could do the testing with the kryptonite. That'd be the end of the story. And then, Lex Luthor being apprehended by Superman and Batman. End of the movie. They're friends. Everyone's alive. Justice League formed.
But now the point of the story we're at, the best parts of the story I thought were basically the scenes at like Lex Luthor's parties. I liked Batman, Bruce Wayne talking to Superman or Clark Kent, and I liked that. And I really liked Batman's dynamic with Wonder Woman. That was really good. I was like, wow, they could really work well together. They worked well the whole movie.
She was surprisingly not cardboard at all.
No,
I was like,
I mean,
when did she learn that?
There's every once in a while I'd be like, but for the most part, she delivered those lines well, and they wrote a great character for her, which was, I was like, again, that's sort of.
I was like, I want to see her movie
more
than any of the other ones now, because I've always liked Wonder Woman. I just hope they go all in with the gods.
Yeah,
that's what I want to see. And I hope they're not all like in 300 where they all just wear the same. I don't know. It looked cooler in the comics when they all have like colored armor and stuff instead of just all wearing brown. And I was like, oh god, now it looks like some cheesy like a Troy or something. So I don't want like a thing where they're all boring. I want them to be really eclectic. Mm-hmm. Or like eccentric. I mean eccentric, and just have like be larger than life because they're gods. They can be weird. Mm-hmm. I want Zeus to be like. I want them to all fight too, because they're siblings. Like how they all Zeus will fight with Poseidon, and like that's what we'll get storms and stuff. And oh god, the comic book is so much fun to read. I hope they translate that into Wonder Woman because she's more than just being a warrior. She has some like family issues. Like they need a big therapy session because they hate each other.
A lot of politics involved with her.
Yeah, I want to see that because she has potential for like the greatest movies out of all of them. Right now, like I think because we all seen Batman so many times, people are gonna be like, oh yeah, another good Batman movie. And then Superman, we're gonna be like, oh yeah, look, another big fight. And then with Wonder Woman, you could have, betrayal, and oh my gosh, I'm just imagining somebody taking the throne, becoming the new Zeus. Mm-hmm. Ares killing Zeus. And he's like, no, wait, I'm a god. There's no killing him.
But yeah, but the scenes with her were great, and then they did the Justice League tease. I don't know exactly what part of it. I know we're just kind of jumbling.
Are you talking about where they had like all the characters?
Well, first they had her look at, or they had Batman look at it, because he was trying to get. The reason that he was even interacting with her is because he was trying to get something from Lex Luthor's
picture. Remember?
The picture from him.
Well, he wasn't trying to get that, but
she was, but he was trying to get.
He's like, I found your picture, and then she kept scrolling down, and he had like more.
He was trying to find out more about the White Portuguese.
Yeah, and then
by
he
doing
saw
that, and which I really like that. I was like, I like this idea of like Batman is like searching for this villain. I don't know. It felt cool. It felt like Batman was opening up to this other world now. That we were so used to him just being in the Dark Knight trilogy or being by himself, but now he's worrying about other characters who are affecting Superman. And it really, I mean, I know the movie is called Batman vs. Superman.
His problems left Gotham.
Yeah,
that's when he realized he was like, oh man, I'm a global hero now.
Yeah, this I was like, wow, this is what I want.
Well, I can't wait for them. They need to be global. Like I want one movie to not even. They could have a movie that's not even in the United States or in Metropolis Gotham, just to be like in Dubai, fighting somebody.
But I wanted more of that dynamic, and they just. I don't know. I didn't think they did it. Again, it's just moments of genius in this movie, and then they just didn't.
Oh, I just remember those scenes where Superman was going around the world and saving people, like during the the Day of the Dead celebration.
Day of the Dead.
I liked that
hurricane.
Scene. And then when the people were reaching up towards him, I was like, oh, that was so much potential to be something cool.
I forgot that even happened. Yeah, that was.
So he is a symbol, but it didn't. It only felt like that half the movie. I don't know. There were just things I have to like think about exactly what I want to say.
I need to see it again, but so like he's trying to get the file and he's talking to one of them and she's trying to get the picture which I don't really know why she's trying to get the picture.
I don't know. It's photoshopped. That's what he said.
I don't
Photoshop.
Yeah, I don't know what the big deal is.
I guess she wants.
And also, people have already seen it, so it's not like nobody's seen this. Lex Luthor's seen it, which is all you need because he can just tell everybody. He's just that platform now.
And I wonder why he was keeping that a secret, and why he wouldn't have said anything to her when she was at his party. Mm-hmm. He didn't even look at her strange. Like he didn't even know her or something.
But yeah, I liked Batman's dynamic, even with Mercy Graves, the way he talked to her. I was like, oh, this is a different type of Batman. But then we got it.
Mercy was a robot. Dang it! I wanted her to have a fight with Superman because she was so thin. Mm-hmm. It'd been like cool to see Superman have to like him think he didn't have to block her and then get wrecked because she's actually like an awesome robot. And then Mercy when she was a teenager.
And then at some point the Capitol scene comes up, and I both love this scene and hate what they did with it after it because the scene was awesome. You have Superman come in and it's totally unexpected, and it has this great scene with Holly Hunter. I mean, that was some phenomenal acting. She probably gave one of the best performances, if not the best. Yeah, every line she delivered, I was like, oh, and even if they were bad lines. And there were, and she sees like the pee in the cup, which is crazy. I don't know how that got in. And then she's just sitting there and she's looking at it. And I was like, what is going on? Like I was trying to figure out, when you're seeing something like that and you're like, wait, what's about to happen? And then I remember I jumped and I was like, oh!
And I love how Superman's face was just like,
and they
like right during the bombing, I was like, oh, Superman, dang, all this death and he can't be killed in that, and he just watched everybody burn. The thing is, he saw all that. He didn't. It's not like he closes his eyes during an explosion. It doesn't hurt him.
Yeah.
Oh, good God. And he couldn't
that was
save
such
any
a
of them.
Brutal scene.
He didn't see any of it coming when he felt like he should be the hero. Remember, he was like, I didn't see it probably because I wasn't looking. Oh God, I love that line though. See, there were a couple of parts where I was like, that's Superman.
Mm-hmm. And then they just pull you right back out, and then
I don't. Batman versus Superman didn't need to happen.
It did.
They didn't have to fight.
No,
they didn't have to.
Because the fight was 7 minutes and boring.
Yeah, I was like,
and
it felt kind of slow at parts. Like when they were swinging each other, I was like, he's going really slow in midair. He was like, and they could have been talking, having a conversation as she was going around the room. And then the whole time I thought, why would Superman was trying to talk to him? Superman could easily rip that suit right off of him, like before the kryptonite, and then.
But before that fight, we see. That's when they fall out from the Capitol, and they never discuss it after that because what they did
just kind of goes.
What they did was they said the wheelchair guy had the bomb, so then the whole point of the scene is there's no point in it because the whole point you would think would be we're gonna blame this on Superman, and then they touched on that for 2 seconds, and then they said the wheelchair guy did it. So what was the point of having the scene? You took out the whole point of that scene was so that you could pin that on Superman. You could say, I don't know what he was doing. I don't know what happened in there. I don't know what went on. And even if you didn't do that, you could say, why didn't he stop it? He's Superman. Why didn't he stop it? But they didn't even do that. They just completely ignored that whole thing. I was like, what? Why would you focus on the Africa thing, which I didn't see was an issue, but you didn't talk at all about the Capitol?
This movie felt like so many episodes of a show.
Like, I know. That's what I'm saying. It's like nothing's cohesive about it. It would just have things happen and be like, oh, that'll be really cool.
It's almost like it's almost like when you have a lot of good ideas, and you realize that some of them don't work together, but you don't care. They're so cool, so you just do it anyway. Yeah.
This can't wait until another movie because a lot of those scenes could wait. Mm-hmm. Like Doomsday didn't have to be in this movie.
The Flash didn't really.
Or you could have Doomsday in this movie, but
footage.
Yeah, it was just. And then I forgot about Batman's Mad Max. I thought the dream sequence was cool, but I have a problem with the sequence as a whole. Because there's a lot of things. It's like the Capitol. It was cool. Why was it in the movie? The Batman, cool. Why was it in the movie? And then they had the parademons and they were setting up for Darkseid. Nobody knows what's going on. I mean, if you don't know about Darkseid, you have no idea what that's about. You're like, what is he doing?
Mm-hmm. And then the parademons, I was wondering, was Superman on their side?
Yeah, that's what I was wondering.
They were working for him.
What did Superman have even... That's what I was confused about.
Soldiers, I was like, wait, so when did he... Why was Batman... If Darkseid's logo was there, they'd never have ever been friends.
Yeah, that's the other thing. That's the thing. It's like it's teasing, so fans are like, oh, it's talking about Darkseid. And then we're still confused because we don't know why Superman's there.
I know he says you have to save Lois. But yeah,
you're talking about the Flash.
Yeah, when he says you save Lois or else that's going to happen. So I'm thinking like, did the Joker kill Lois?
Yeah, is this Injustice they're adapting?
Yeah, but even then when he said you have to save Lois, that made no sense.
There's no context.
That didn't come back full circle. Like there were things that they would like launch off, but then they just went right off into space.
And then they're just their excuse is gonna be Justice League or Wonder Woman or Flash, or like they'll just say, oh, it happened, and you'll find out in another movie. It's like, how many things can you just
you can't just introduce. You
can't just introduce 7 billion things and then expect me to be like, oh, okay, I guess I'll wait the next few years. That's not. No, you have to make a movie. You have to assume even though you're making other movies, you have to make a movie like this is the last movie you're making. That's how I feel sometimes. Like, even if you're doing a sequel, you can set up for a sequel, but this movie is not a complete movie. This movie is a movie that has a bunch of openings all over it that are going to, I hope, if there's some good writing and some like going back and real fast and making this like cohesive puzzle to get putting this puzzle together. But right now it's just an open movie, and it's going to feel like that until the Justice League movie comes out, until Wonder Woman comes out, until Flash comes out. It's just going to feel like an open movie.
I can't believe they're starting Justice League with a part movie.
Yeah, I know. I don't even know if I have a feeling that the part is just a name. I have a feeling it's going to be 2 separate stories with very different things going on. They're probably going to be taking place within there's not going to be much time in between them, but I feel like they're going to be very distinct movies.
Even when Justice League comes out, Wonder Woman's coming out, but Wonder Woman is how far ago?
Yeah, Wonder Woman's taken like during World War I, so 100 years ago, so it's not even dealing with that.
Yeah. What is she going to be doing at World War I that she couldn't defeat herself?
Yeah, I don't. I'm assuming. I have a feeling Ares is going to have to be because
Ares starts the World War. Yeah. He starts that stuff.
And then they'll say, "Oh, she ended it by fighting Ares or something."
Ares comes. Oh, when he comes to Earth, so it's just so good. And she cuts his head
See how
off.
excited we are about that in this movie.
I want to see her behead her brother.
And
I hope they do the story of Ares, like when he kills all the Amazons, or the Amazons are fighting Ares, and he just pretty much kills all of them because they're no match for him. And then Wonder Woman is before she's born. And then Ares, he loses his powers because he gets these shackles, I think, made from Zeus's shield. Mm-hmm. And then Zeus locks him away in prison and says that only a god can take them off. And then, of course, who does he get? He tricks one of the Amazons, I think, who's also like a demigod, tricks them into letting him off, and then kills her. Because I was like, you never trust Ares.
Pure evil.
He is pure, and he's would be like the coolest villain. I guarantee you, everybody would be like, I'm Ares for Halloween, blah, blah. He's so cool. And then I hope they do where he puts on the mask and he has like all black and then he has red eyes. When he takes it off, he's just like a normal guy. I hope they do that. So he looks scary, but then he could like just go out in public one day and start something at a restaurant for all we know, because he thrives off of anger.
Yeah.
Whew.
But so this point, at some point, Batman does his Batmobile thing, and he's driving around and he's trying to find the white Portuguese or something. He's trying to put a tag on Lex Luthor's truck or something. And then the scene was boring. Like it was just he was just driving around, and it was he just kept killing people.
I know he was trying to stop the truck, yeah.
And then he shot a tag or something onto the
truck. He tracked it all the way to where it was going. Either way, I think could have just had somebody meet him there. Meet where it went.
And then he needlessly killed all those people, and it's just like, I feel like there's a certain point where it's like, okay, he's trying to kill people because he's killing people because he's done.
I feel like sometimes you have to.
Yeah.
Like, there's no way he would have been able to save Martha without killing someone.
But, like, killing all those people during that Batmobile thing, they just felt like it was indulging. It was like, oh, let's just have him kill because it's cool.
And the fact that he, like, dragged that car.
Yeah.
I was like, ooh.
Like, he was, like, sadistic. And it looked like he enjoyed killing people. And it was weird to me. But, interesting choice. And then when we have Lex Luthor on the building and with Lois, and he pushes her off and whatever, and Superman saves her. That was another example of Lois not needing to be there. That scene could have easily happened without Lois being there. He could have.
Why was she there? Oh, she was just there to call Superman, but
Superman could have just gotten to Lex Luthor could have just called him.
Yeah, he could have just been like, Superman.
Yeah, like
come face your maker.
There could have been something way easier than just again having Lois to be there.
Lex could have built a Superman light. Yeah. Don't ever come to your light when it shines in the sky. Whatever he said to Batman. Oh.
Yeah, and then so he comes up, and they're talking, and this is the cool part where he has the pictures of Martha tied up and whatever, and he throws them at the ground, and he's like, I own you now. Okay, you might have all this power, but you're not going to kill me, especially if you want to save your mom. And I was like, wow, this is Lex Luthor.
Mm-hmm.
And then he's like, but you have to fight Batman. I was like, wait, what? And then I realized that was the whole reason that they were fighting in the movie, and then I was like,
mm-hmm. And I remember the whole time people were coming up with like arguments that Batman was upset over the destruction and that's why he fought him. I said, that's not enough.
Yeah, I thought
there was a lot of time you get over it.
That's why I was wondering. I was like, isn't Superman gonna have a reason to want to fight Batman?
Mm-hmm.
There has to be a reason for Superman to want to fight him. Yeah. But then they do this thing. So he's trying to protect his mom, or trying to save his mom. So he's like, okay, Batman, we got to save my mom. Or, no, he doesn't say that, but he's like, well, you need to talk to me. I don't know why he didn't just say, you need to save my mom. Like, I don't know why he didn't just start right there. That's the first thing I would have said. I would be like, Lex Luthor has my mom hostage. Let's go save her.
Because of Zack Snyder.
Yeah, and then but then they have to add this 7-minute slow motion fight. And he goes over there and he's talking to him about it. And it's like what Kevin Smith said in his review. He's like, this is gonna have an emotion. Like this is not gonna
Yeah,
be
like
built.
we didn't care. I think that's like the biggest issue. Yeah, the biggest issue was there was no reason. There was no reason to care. Like when Superman died.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And
And then he comes back.
They didn't give reasons. They didn't give reasons. They didn't show they didn't care. They just wanted cool things to happen. So it's like, well, if you don't care, why should I care? Like,
Even the Justice League wasn't like mourning.
oh, that's the other. Well, I forgot to even mention that.
I love to see when like Superman dies. It's like a global like outcry. Like Wonder Woman would be destroyed inside. Batman would even be upset, and he would be the one to hide it and then break down himself.
Yeah.
But I'm just like, they didn't have the opportunity because they knew him for 5 minutes.
It didn't matter.
And he was just like, they were at his funeral. Oh, shoot. They were at his funeral planning what to do next. They were just sitting there like, you want to go get coffee? You talk about the Justice League?
Yeah.
Clark's dead, but I don't really care because
Because I don't know him.
I don't know him or care about him.
Yeah.
He got
In fact, I was trying to kill him.
yeah. That was like 5 minutes ago. I was going to kill him.
Yeah, like so. Then they have to fight with Doomsday, and some of it's cool, but a lot of it you can't see because there's so much. Like literally, I remember thinking like, wait, where are they? Like I was trying to look for Wonder Woman, and she just gets off the plane. I guess like she just sees the news and she walks straight off.
Yeah. Miss Prince! Miss Prince!
She was just fine. She was loading things, and then she sees the news.
At first, I thought she was going to ignore it. And I went, did you see her? She sat down and stayed in her seat
Yeah.
watching the thing.
And she's,
I was like,
I'll go.
so I wonder, did she fly? Like, how did she get there so fast? Well, I don't know where she was. She was probably at the Metropolis Airport.
Probably ran or something, but
Well, yeah, because she could jump all that far. But then who wouldn't see a woman in armor? If she couldn't fly.
and then Batman is flying around and
Yeah.
he crashes and he says the S word, and then Wonder Woman saves her or saves him. And she with you, and oh, she's with you or whatever. And then
I'm glad that she got the applause at that part in our theater.
she was the best
deserved
part
it.
of that fight. And that's the whole thing. The whole time I was trying to watch her kick Doomsday's butt because Superman was.
He's boring.
He was too because he had to.
Lois
Lois was again. She had to go drown herself. I wish she had stayed in that war. I'm sorry. That's a terrible. But who cares? She's a fictional character. I wish she had drowned. And I'm tired of seeing her.
And the funny thing is, nobody would have been sad. We would all been like,
I don't care.
yeah, we didn't even have time to care about that relationship. You can't kill people. I'm sorry, you can't kill people. That'd be like, imagine Captain America like having Bucky the first movie. Yeah, and I'd be like, oh. The Winter Soldier happens all in the first movie.
Yeah. What?
We're like, wait, what? Are we supposed to care?
Yeah. Because I don't.
Like,
And
I just want them to rewrite so many parts of this movie, and they don't even need to rewrite some of it. They just need to delete some scenes.
They need to delete a lot of scenes.
Like if you just deleted a lot of scenes, it'd be a better movie. You don't even have to like rewrite or rework. Just literally delete the scene. I don't care if it's choppy. It'll just be better.
It'll be a better movie. And then he's with Lois, and I don't care what they're doing. And then Wonder Woman's fighting Doomsday, and she has her lasso, and it's bright, and I was, oh, this looks so cool.
And I hate that they didn't like capitalize on her like explaining what it does. Like there was no like she looked cool, and I wish they would have had it glow up.
It glowed a little bit.
No, I mean like have it be normal at first, and then it glows up.
Oh,
She's
yeah.
Like, but then the way the lasso works is when it glows, she's compelling you to say like I'm like so the lasso glowing was really just for visual effects,
Yeah.
but.
It just looked cool.
Yeah,
and it
she
did look cool. It looked really cool.
Oh, I love when she gets all the people in the lasso. She should have squeezed the life out of him.
Yeah.
Oh, that would have been Wonder Woman to go.
And then she was chopping.
Savage.
She was chopping his limbs off.
I was gonna say. I was like, if anything, Wonder Woman was the one doing the damage. She
yeah.
was just like, zoom, and then her sword just.
Yeah, she weakened him for Superman.
And I loved how they showed. I realized like Wonder Woman could murder Superman. I wonder if that sword, because that was Kryptonian DNA. She could easily do that to Superman. And it's her armor though they did it. They weren't showing her with like her bare hands ripping him apart. So she would just have to do it with her armor. I want to see Superman punch the shield or something.
And then does Batman do anything? Does
he gets the kryptonite, that little thing.
Yeah, because he was boring, and I was like,
Doomsday should have ate it.
yeah,
Should've
because
been like,
that's what I'm worried about. This movie made me fear for what Batman's role will be in Justice League movies.
I'm hoping he'll be more prepared, because I mean I think clearly he knows he has equipment. Like not every villain is as strong as Superman or as strong as Doomsday, and Batman doesn't always have to be on the front lines. He could always be telling them what to do.
He can be a strategist,
or he could be using his his Batman planes to shoot. Like he has plenty to.
He has bots.
Yeah.
In Kingdom Come, I remember. So
he could do when they were like patrolling and stuff. I was like, why not do that?
And he can, if he had had his suit, he should have had his fighting Superman suit on.
That's what I said. I was like, no, Superman didn't really. He only ripped the mask.
He just tore a little bit of the mask off.
Nothing else was wrong with it.
Yeah.
Maybe it was out of fuel, or battery power. He needed some more batteries from
I don't know what was
Walmart.
going on. And they didn't even explain really well how that was made. But
yeah, they were. You're right. They didn't. How was he supposed to know how tough Superman was?
Yeah.
Superman. The only strength feat that we saw was when he was like actually going against the strength of the world, and I was like, that would easily just rip Batman to shreds, no matter what. Or like the sonic weapons. How did he know that?
Yeah.
How to use that? Okay.
And how did he know where he would be? And
yeah.
What if Superman hadn't gone there? It was like that scene in Man of Steel where Lois is like when she's at the cemetery and she's talking to, or Superman.
How long were you waiting there?
Yeah, it's like, how many times did you say that before? So it's like, how would you know he was there? I mean, how many times did you practice knowing where he was going to be? He just happened to be at the right place.
How many times did you say that?
Yeah.
That's what if they wanted a joke, Superman could have. So how many times did you say that? And then they could have cut to the next scene.
But I hate her so much. And then
I think she can be useful. She needs to be useful in the right way, which is to keep Superman grounded. She's a side character. She doesn't need to be a main character until it's in Superman's movie.
Because Lois Lane is a character I think can be very cool.
Mm-hmm. I
just don't like this interpretation at all. I liked Margot Kidder much better in the original Superman film. She was my preferable, but I also thought she fit in the role more. I still contend that Amy Adams, I was miscast in this role. She doesn't work for me. But so they were fighting Doomsday and whatever, and Batman and Wonder Woman looks crazy, cool, and then he starts drowning. I don't know why people keep drowning, but then he starts like drowning, and she has to save him. Like they saved each other. And then I was just like, this is again poor writing.
She should have just been like, you're useless, man.
And then he's like, all right, I've decided. After only 2 movies and my second movie not even being my movie, it's a shared movie. I'm gonna go kill myself. And he goes and he drives that kryptonite staff through Doomsday's chest, and then Doomsday stabs him or whatever. And then I go, oh, okay.
And the whole time we are all like,
yeah, that happened. Yeah.
I was wondering how he would get to the sun. I was just like, wait, so did he heal being blocked from sun radiation?
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
Doesn't make any sense.
The nuclear bomb thing or whatever, like Bizarro.
Yeah, the nuclear bomb thing. When he healed, I was like, well, yeah, that's how he heals. I don't understand how he heals when he gets close to the sun. So I was hoping that there would be some type of.
That was weird that they did that. So they had him almost die. They kept killing.
I think he was dead. He was sitting there.
I think they had him die, and then they killed him again, and then nobody cared, and they had the two different.
That's interesting how that nuke was able to like kill Superman basically, but like the World Engine wasn't.
Yeah, that's weird.
I don't know. There was a lot of things I was like, he was taking massive hits from the Zod and getting and then a nuke just. Boom.
Wow, he almost died so many times in this movie. Because he didn't even die the last time. Because then we see the dirt coming.
And why didn't he fly away? It's not like Doomsday wasn't far enough away from the Earth already. He could have easily went back into the atmosphere. So.
And then ensues the Return of the King billion endings thing that I was discussing. As far as we have the 2 funerals. For some reason, Batman and Wonder Woman were invited to the private funeral at Martha Kent's house for some weird reason, because they had known him for roughly, I want to say, a collective, both of them together, maybe 2 days.
His nice Puritan funeral.
Yeah, I think.
He looked like a little Puritan. I was like, wait, what is this?
And then they just had him in the casket or whatever, and then they had a nice shot of Lois talking to Martha. I was like, oh, that's a nice shot. And then they did some talk. Then they did some talking with Batman and Wonder Woman. Just like, oh, this is cool. This is a nice discussion. Like, we have to find the others or whatever. And we didn't even discuss how they were looking on the computer at the Justice League, which really felt like almost a teaser trailer that they put in a movie. Like, it was weird how they just like shoehorned that whole thing.
People were upset that it happened to be those specific members. I was like, what if it did just happen to be those specific members? Like, there's other ones, but she happened to click those videos. I mean,
those are the members that are going to be on the Justice League.
People are saying that. I'm like, but why wouldn't it be those members?
Those are the members that are going to be in the Justice League movie.
Yeah, I don't understand when people say, yeah, it should have been random. Well, they could have been randomly picked.
You're only saying that because you already know who's going to be in the Justice League.
Yeah. I was like, stop saying that. Or
You have to put yourself in that world.
The only thing that was bothering me was they actually had like a WW on Wonder Woman's thing. I was like, so they call her Wonder Woman.
Well, yeah,
already?
they already had a Wonder Woman thing, and then
A
they
Flash.
had a Cyborg. They had a C for Cyborg. I think it had a design.
Yeah.
And then they had a Flash symbol and an Aquaman.
I was like, somebody who was good at web design was really having a fun day.
They had a really fun day. Apparently,
They're like, let me create superheroes.
Let me do logos. I'm going to name these heroes. And then they had the clips. Aquaman's was underwhelming. Flash's was cool, I
I
guess.
wish you would have seen Supergirl.
Cyborg's was lame.
They could have just had a little blonde girl walking somewhere. Like the videos could have been
Supergirl?
dated a while ago. Yeah,
I could say like.
and I lose track of her.
Although she's been on Earth for thousands of, like 10,000 years.
Oh yeah. Well, I mean,
So she wouldn't be a little girl.
in her little comic or whatever.
And then she
would still be like 30.
Well, yeah, she'd be young.
Because I feel like they don't even age after a certain age. It says under the sun, they can't die. Ooh, what are we? Ooh, they're like vampires. Except for under the sun, they get power.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. I hope she's out there.
Yeah, but
Clark, I'm here.
it was just they had the ending, so that we had Batman interrogate Lex Luthor in the jail, and he was like, "I'm gonna brand you," and I was like, "Oh, that's kind of cool, I guess." And then some other things happened that I barely remember.
There's so many things I wasn't interested in.
Oh, the dirt coming off of Superman's casket, because just in case you thought that there was any chance that he was going to stay dead, they ended that real quick by showing the dirt come up from his casket.
And what was that supposed to mean?
I
Like I know
things.
whenever he was about to fly, things would lift around him. So I was like, Clark Kent was about to shoot out of that casket.
I guess.
That would be, and
Somehow-
everyone has to know he's Clark Kent. There's no like.
Yeah, that's the other thing with Clark Kent. Like, okay, I can believe. Okay, Clark Kent and Superman die on the same day. Okay, but then having somebody like Lois
Go to his funeral.
Yeah.
Well, I guess she was dating Clark to everyone else.
Yeah.
But then again, she knew Superman so famously, and he was always saving her. I feel like they didn't really know what to do.
With the secret identity thing, they're really trying to destroy, because Lex knows that Batman is Bruce Wayne. He knows that Clark is Superman.
Wonder Woman doesn't really have a secret identity. I mean, she created another one, but it doesn't matter.
Oh, and they shave Lex's head. And they show a picture of something that's like upside down, and like, oh.
The angels and the devils. Are you talking about that?
Yeah.
I loved that, actually.
Mm-hmm.
When he flipped it up. Oh, I was like, oh.
That actually was cool.
And I like that line. Devils don't come from the hell beneath, they come from the sky. I wish he would have capitalized more on that, but like I'm thinking like that. And then how they had the wings and they were the parademons.
Mm-hmm.
So many things that could have been.
And I feel like we're forgetting some. There's probably another ending. I mean, there's probably like 15
that was.
other
I realized,
endings.
that is foreshadowing. I don't know. I was just looking at it as like symbolism, and then I was like, oh wait, they are the parademons. That's what he's talking about.
Yeah. So I guess we just wrap this up. So what are your final thoughts of this movie? I guess.
Like I don't hate it, but I don't love it. It's just, it was a movie that had so much going on that I was just like, I liked. There were parts of it that I was like, oh, I really like that part of the movie, and there were parts of you like, I didn't like that part of the movie. But overall, you can't have an opinion on the whole movie because it was 4 movies.
Yeah.
I don't know. Overall, I'm just like perplexed at the whole movie.
Yeah, that's a good. Maybe this movie will. No, it won't. But I was gonna say maybe it'll be better after we see the Justice League. And
I mean, it won't be a better movie, but it just might make more sense.
Like the deleted scene they released with Lex Luthor.
Oh, no. This feels like a part movie. This feels like a part 1 of a movie. I just realized that because I was like, oh god, they left a cliffhanger. Superman coming back, and then when he comes back, it won't mean anything. Still, so Justice League, I'm gonna be like, I don't care that he's back.
I don't care. They're gonna have a.
They
big
could wait
scene.
10 years. They already ruined it.
Look, I'm back, and everybody goes no.
And then if he dies again, the world's gonna be like,
I want a Man of Steel sequel. I want a Batman movie. I want a Wonder Woman movie, which we're getting. Only one of the 3 things I just said are confirmed, which is weird. We got a Wonder Woman movie, and then Flash and Aquaman and Cyborg.
they can keep Cyborg.
I don't
That
care.
footage I saw, I said, don't care.
Yeah, I mean, he could be on the Justice League, but he can be like the Hawkeye or Black Widow.
Yeah, he could, and he could appear in somebody else's movie.
Yeah,
I don't know why not. Or he could work like, I don't know, Suicide Squad.
But I guess he's getting his own movie for whatever weird reason. And then if Shazam is going to be in the movie or in the universe, and then we have
I
Suicide
wonder how
Squad,
Shazam would look.
Green Lantern. Huh?
I wonder how Shazam would look. They could not use his Injustice costume. It's too cool. I was saying it's too cool for this universe.
Yeah,
Too fresh. Superman would be jealous.
Yeah. He needs to have a collar. But
yeah, Superman. Oh, maybe he'll get a new suit when he comes back. Maybe he'll find a new piece of Krypton out there. Didn't they do that in Superman Returns, where there was like a piece of Krypton left?
No, I think so. Like yeah, and he had to hold it or something.
I don't know.
Stupid.
But maybe they'll be. Well, it did just explode, so there should be like fragments, I guess. Because from what we saw, it just went boom, and then there was the whole planet was like just broken apart. I was like, he can still go back.
Yeah,
he doesn't know where it is, but
yeah, this movie is a whole nother level of exhausting. Because I felt like this was so overstuffed, but I wanted so much more. Like I don't know how to explain it. It's like eating this big, massive burger and fries, and then you have cake and everything afterwards, and you're like, I didn't even eat anything. Like did I just eat balloons or something? Like I don't even know. It's a mess. There are still some fun parts, I guess, but I don't know. I'm sitting on like a 4 out of 10, maybe 5, maybe. I don't know. I don't know how to feel about it. It's just I need to watch it.
It's because I don't hate it, but
I don't hate it. That's weird because Amazing Spider-Man.
I just don't want to give it any praise.
Amazing Spider-Man 2 is the movie that I thought was garbage and that I thought was a mess. Like this, I thought Amazing Spider-Man 2 and Batman vs Superman are both mess movies. But I hate Amazing Spider-Man 2.
This is it. Yeah, that is the difference. We both adamantly hate
that movie. And I don't hate this movie for some weird reason.
Yeah, like I don't hate it, and I think we see the potential.
Yeah, there's potential.
With Amazing Spider-Man 2, it was all garbage.
Yeah, because Amazing Spider-Man 2 is also similar to Man of Steel because Amazing Spider-Man and Man of Steel were both good movies. But then for some reason in the second movie they just like decide they don't want to be good anymore. I know, it was weird. But I don't know. But yeah, so if you watch this whole review, which is over an hour,
yeah, I doubt you'll watch it.
If you've watched this whole, I just like having a discussion.
Our loyal fans.
Yeah, I just love having these long discussions about because some movies just warrant a long talk. Because this is a weird movie. I mean, this is a weird movie. Weird, but like unnecessarily. But it's weird, and I don't know how to feel about this. And this is a divisive movie, and it's going to mean a lot for the future of the DC universe, which we're going to have to do a long video on too. But tell us your thoughts in the comments, what you thought of the movie. We're going to have to see it a second time. Maybe I'll enjoy it more. And as always, you know what to do. Like, subscribe, and stay film smart.